Twitter has hired elite law firm Watchdale, Limpton, Rosen and Cots as it readies for a legal battle against Elon Musk, who has moved to terminate his $44 billion acquisition of the social media company, according to two people familiar with the situation. The San Francisco company is preparing to file its lawsuit with the Delaware Court of Chancery against Musk early this week, according to media reports and a tweet from its chair. Musk said on Friday that he planned to walk away from his deal to buy Twitter, citing 3 breaches of the merger agreement by the social media platform. For more on these headlines, we cross over to London, where we're joined by international financial analyst, CEO of Perth Partners, Opeoluwa Dapo Thomas. Good morning, Ope. Thank you so much for joining us. Starting with Twitter, Elon Musk, the drama continues. What do you make of this latest development?
Hello, good morning. I think it's a matter of what do I call it, a breach of agreement where Elon Musk has initiated that he's not interested in buying Twitter anymore. Twitter obviously are saying that you can't pull out this agreement because you've basically have shown interest, and obviously your interest has affected our share price and has affected our potential or the share potential. So obviously now it's a big condition where Musk is saying he's not interested. And obviously, let's go to the background. What's the issue? So Musk has an issue in terms of data verification. He's basically saying that the number of people that use Twitter, he needs to know real amount of people that are not robots or spams or fake accounts. Twitter says they can't disclose that information, and I really think they don't have that information. But Twitter says they can't disclose that information to him. So him is saying he needs that information, which obviously will guide his acquisition. But Twitter is basically saying that we have enough users, we have sufficient users, and they can't give a percentage of how much bots are running on Twitter, and so Elon Musk is pulling out. But we have a theory that obviously Elon Musk just used the Twitter acquisition as a ruse or a smokescreen to sell his expiring Tesla options, because he needed to liquidate. And obviously, he needed to be liquid last year. He needed to sell Tesla at a high price. But obviously, this saying he wanted to sell Tesla's options to buy Twitter was a good excuse for him to sell off. Because I don't believe that he has a real issue with bots. I mean, this is someone that is behind driverless cars. He's behind them landing rockets in a different country. He's looking at going to Mars. So when the robots now become an issue for him to buy an application that he's very, very famous for, this is an application he believes he can make better. He was talking about having a subscriber model, making everyone have a blue check account, trying to get authenticity on their account. So I think this deal is cooperating, but now it's going to go to the court, and I think the lawyers also have a hard deal to play with. This matter is going to take time in court. I doubt they'll settle outside court because of how the type of exposure this matter has had. But it's something that you have to look at and say Elon Musk obviously should have done his due diligence, and people are going to question his integrity in this matter.
So, unfolding matter indeed. We're expecting second quarter earnings this week. How good are higher interest rates for U.S. banks?
Oh, fantastic. The banks. That's every bank's dream, because let's go to the background of how banks make money. So banks make money by being financial intermediaries, and how do they perform financial intermediary functions is by giving out loans. So now with high interest rates, they can increase. They have the license to increase the amount of interest they charge on every loan, which obviously boosts their profits. And so we're going to see bumper earnings from the Bank of America, J.P. Morgan, Chase, Wells Fargo is going to go up. It's going to increase because they probably have made more money from from this type of loans, and the deposits that come in, they also have a lot of leverage, especially banks like Citibank that have a large following in America. So when you think about it, you reckon that it's a good thing for the banks. It's even a good thing for savers. So if you put your money in a saving account now, you're going to get more interest. So the interest rate is very important for banks.
Let's move to the UK and the race to replace Boris Johnson. We've got a number of candidates in there. We have a Nigerian MP. So who's there they are. Who's this is 5 of them. I think we've got another 5. Liz Truss, Rishi Sunak, Jeremy Hunt, Zahadwi, Penny Mordaunt, Grant Shapps, Tom Tugendhat. There she is, Oluwakemi Badenoch, and then Suella Bavrema, the Attorney General. Well, who's your money on to replace Boris Johnson?
Well, to be honest, Rishi Sunak makes a good MP. He would make a good, prime minister. He's the favourite right now. I mean, that's what the bookies are saying. Everyone's money is on Rishi Sunak, but we have to know historically the favourite has never won the prime minister, what do I call it, has never been prime minister, usually there are a lot of things to consider, especially with the Conservative Party. They're going to have to consider a lot of things. What's this person policy on big government, small government, taxation, fiscal issues? What is the understanding of the current situation? Can this person get out of the pandemic? Can this person ensure that, a lot of them have good things to their name. Look at Zawahi, the current exchequer. He basically implemented a successful vaccine program, so he was rewarded with the exchequer. Now he believes that he could be PM. Penny Mordaunt obviously is a good addition. I think she's second favorite. The trade minister, obviously, how they've found a way to cope after Brexit. I think obviously that will play into the hands of the Conservative Party. They believe that she has done a good job. You also have people like Grant Shapps, who's the Transport Secretary, who was an ultra loyalist to Boris Johnson. And most important, I think the third favorite is Liz Truss, the Secretary of State Foreign, because of her exposure and obviously the understanding of the economy and the global economy. Obviously, with her expertise being Foreign Secretary, and then we're having issues with Ukraine, Russia. That basically will give her an impetus or give her an edge to understand the matters that are arising in the UK Parliament.
All right. In Europe, French Finance Minister Bruno Le Maire is saying that Europe must prepare for Russian gas deliveries to be shut off entirely. Can Europe handle that?
Well, I think it's a matter of understanding energy security, and I don't believe Europe can handle that. I think the French finance minister is bluffing because increase in cost of gas obviously would affect these the everyday indigents. In fact, it will affect the businesses. So apart from citizens, it affects businesses. Look at Germany, where we have a lot of power distribution companies going bankrupt and saying they can't handle costs. Even in England as well, the government is supporting most of these electricity producers, because you don't want to transfer the costs of high gas on your citizens. It tests your legitimacy. You're going to be voted out. Citizens don't want to understand what's going on in Russia and Ukraine. They've given you a mandate. The mandate is to ensure they have better welfare. Better welfare focuses on purchasing power, inflation, cost of living. If you're not going to help them in this type of situation, then you should be prepared to leave. And that's the situation the EU must consider. And that's why I said energy security should precede the global tensions. Yes, this is not me downplaying what's going on in Russia or Ukraine. It's a terrible thing that Russia is doing right now, and a lot of people's lives are losing. Ukraine is now unsafe. But then again, I wouldn't say the greater good, or basically you look at the greater evil in terms of people suffering, people going into poverty. We're having high inflationary environment. People's take-home salary is not even reaching home. And so when you think about it, you have to consider this type of decisions the EU has to make.
And still on the importance of Russian gas to Europe, this Canada's decision to grant an exemption on its sanctions to Moscow to allow that export of that vital equipment for the main Russian Nord Stream 1. Is Russia sanction-proof when it comes to European gas?
Yeah, exactly what I was saying in the other answering the other question. Energy security is number one. It has to be on the front, brother. That's the most important thing. I think they've realized that we've allowed this thing go on so far. And obviously, they're suffering. It's now created a fiscal burden for them. It's also increased the cost of living. And now, this for example, this vital equipment that Canada has waived the sanctions for, is important to distributing the gas from Russia to Germany. Germans obviously. You saw how the German chancellor was basically not all in for eliminating Russian gas off, because he has looked at it. Our economy is going to suffer at the end of the day. The economy is going to suffer. So I think Canada has understood this and obviously said, okay. And obviously Russia knows this as well. They know that they can threaten, and even Russia to call. They bluff at as well, saying that they want to take off natural gas and they want to stop supplying oil so that all these countries will suffer. They also need the revenue. I think both of them understand themselves, and that's why you see the introduction of a G7 price cap, which I feel that is a price cap for how much you can pay on top of oil and gas, so that you affect the revenue, but you don't affect yourself in the meantime as well. So I think there has to be a balance, and that's why I said I approve the G7 price cap recommendation.
Opeoluwa, Dapo, CEO of Perth Partners, International Financial Analyst. Thank you so much for taking us through the headlines. We appreciate your time.